So hi students, in this video lecture for module 6, we're going to continue using the CAT tool with the same translation, but for the assignment, but with added text. So you hoping that you already installed it, but if not, you do need to install it and complete homework 3 before you do this assignment. So you already completed that small translation practice in homework 3, and now we're just going to take it a step, a notch up and further, okay? You're going to learn some very important features here. You're going to learn about term base, okay, which is a database of individual terms that a translator adds to their glossaries manually. You're going to add terms. So you're going to take it up a notch by adding your term base, and also you're going to play with TM, a translation memory. So this database of approved translation segments. So when you're approving, you're already creating a memory. So the CAT tool adds translation after every time after you manually approve a segment or a line. So in this module, you're going to find your assignment and you're going to import it into here. But first, I want to go over some of the icons. So again, remember that a TV is a database of individual terms that a translator adds to their glossaries, and a translation memory is a database of approved translations, okay? Your segments, your sentences. So remember, segments is another word for sentences. And the difference with, in this case, with this CAT tool, with building your TM or your translation memory, you do not have to manually add translations to it because the CAT tool stores it for you. Okay, in their memory, every time you're approving and confirming every sentence or segment. So I'm going to explain to you in the previous video lecture, I went over the icons in projects, and right now I'm going to explain to you what the icons mean here in memories. So we're in the memories toolbar. So the first icon right here is a folder with a plus sign. So you see this right here with my cursor is pointing, and that is to add a memory. So that's the memory icon. Okay, so the add memory icon allows you to create a database and sets up your translation memory. Okay, so if you already have inputted homework 3 and now you're going to do the other assignment, you're already going to start creating your TM or your memory. So really, in theory, you should only create one memory per client so that you're adding to that client's particular translation projects and memory database so that you could pull out from past translations. You don't have to be spending time. So this, as the longer, the bigger the memory, the database, the less time you're going to start looking or searching for terms, and you're going to save time. So you will be, again, every time you work on a translation project, you're going to build a larger database with that client. So remember, you only have the license for a free trial for 30 days. So I highly recommend that you play with this. If you have something pending for a client, or you want to take advantage, in other words, of the 30 days that you have to maybe get something translated. The second icon, again, this is very self-explanatory. That's your trash. This will allow you to remove your TM. And the other one was the projects. It allows you to remove your translation project. This one allows you to remove the memory, okay? To remove the TM from your CAT tool. So let's say you want to remove certain memory, but really you should not be removing memories, but it gives you that option. And the third option right here with the downward diagonal is to import. So what I tell students is, you bring in, you are importing. So that's to import TMX file. And this one, you're exporting this memory as a TMX file. The option here with the magnifying glass is called the concordance search. So what this does is, let's say you're looking for something, or you want to search text while you're translating a project, or from the memories tab, a search is performed in the selected memories, and results are displayed in this dialog box. Okay, so it will open a dialog box. So the last option here is the cloud icon. You see this cloud right here? So this is called Remote TM, which is the translation memory server. So you will not use this option. This is only beneficial when you have a large database that you want to export to a cloud base. So you would be able to store large databases if they get too large for your cat tool. But this is something that I still want you to know, that this has the option to send something very large into the cloud. Again, just make the most of this time that you have available this license, so that you have become familiar with it. If you're not, do not anticipate that you're going to be using for this. I highly don't recommend for you to pay the subscription unless it comes up in, unless you think it's going to help you with your own translations, then by all means. Now here, you see here how to add a memory. We're still in the memories, okay? So a TM, again, the memory to your translation. So we're just going to pretend right now that we have already the homework for homework 3 for the past module already in the memory. And so here this window is going to appear because you click here memories. Um, Dialog window appears where you will type a descriptive name for the new memory in the name box. Okay, so name, memory sample, I don't know, special education could be if you're doing with court, legal, whatever your industry. So I would create, or whatever it is that you're working for your client. Like for example, again, I have Corner Store Communications. So in my case, I would name it Corner Store Communications as my client. And then it is a mandatory field. So you need to this memory, whatever you like, but for demo purposes here, Professor Nayeli put memory sample. But really in any scenario, again, who your client is, what you're working, so make sure that you organize your files accordingly, as well as your memory, your memory right here, your TM. Uh, so here you are. Again, this is where you're going to add a memory. And then the project subject and client name, subject, project, and client name, again, are all optional fields. But again, because you already started your translation, you can select the existing value name from the drop-down list. So it's going to find your translation, whatever you named it, is going to find it from the previous week or your previous time that you created, okay? So that one that you created last week. So when you set up your TM, Swordfish does not ask you to provide information on your language pairs because you already done that before. So in case you didn't do it, then you have to go back, because I know some of you submitted homework 3 with not showing the 2 pairs. So there's a glitch there, you missed a step. So please go back and make the most of this opportunity that you have, this 30 days. So you're going to use the translation we created last week to be there in the memory sample. You're going to select it. And again, you have more than one language pair, specific regional language country, you can use the same TM to store your translations for that client. If you're just working in English Spanish or English Vietnamese, then you would just leave it because that you already selected it from the previous one. So that way you can find your translations no matter what language you use to translate, because it is going to recognize it. So we're going to move to the final toolbar, which is the glossary. You see here, the glossary. This is where you will be storing your TB or your term bases. In case you have more than one language pair, it is based to create a single multilingual glossary. So you'll see again the similar icons that here in the memories folders. Remember the going down, up, and the magnifying glass. So they're the same icons that were in the memory folder. The folder with the plus sign icon is to add, okay, right here. So the folder again with the plus sign is to add a glossary. So that's the glossary icon. The trash bin. So here you add a glossary, and here's the trash bin, is to delete, okay, a glossary from your cat tool. So here is in the memories is to delete a memory, in the projects, the trash bin is to delete a project. So be very careful with that. And then you can import a glossary file, import, export, okay? Or you can select the fifth icon, this fifth icon right here. This is the icon with the 3 horizontal lines and a plus sign. And that with the that one with a plus sign, and add a new term to your glossary. This icon is named add term to glossary. So if you want to add a term, and I'll give you an explanation right now. Well, you're going to see a screen share with example. This is to add a new term. Oh my goodness, you know what? I really need to do this. This is repetitive, so I really need to add this term to my glossary. Boom, you click here. And the magnifying glass allows you to search terms in your glossary that you're creating. And then we have the remote TM glossary icon, which is the cloud, which allows you to add a glossary hosted on a remote TM from other computers. But you're going to not use this. This is just in case you're working in very, very large projects. So now we're going to take a look at how to add a memory or TM to your translation. So the dialog window is going to appear here with a descriptive name for your new memory in the name text box. You see here project, sample. So here we're in the glossaries. So now I'm going to explain how to add a new glossary. This dialog window resembles the dialog window you see when adding a new memory, but here you're in glossary. So you're going to have this, again, this dialog window. And the same fields are going to appear, including the name field, which is a mandatory field, project, and the subject, and client fields are optional fields. For the purpose of consistency, Professor Nayeli used the same information here for the glossary, and sample glossary you see here, sample glossary, and TB in the name field. So from after you do that, you're going to open your translation file from the projects menu toolbar. So you go to projects, and then in the toolbar you're going to open the one that you worked on last week. So you see here how this is the one from the homework 3. So you're gonna go to projects, and then you're going to find it here. Okay, your file should be listed in the projects menu. If it's not listed, upload it again from last week, because this is, you need to document so that you can start creating a memory. Otherwise this is not going to work. So you go to projects, select your translation file by checking the check mark, and then you click translate. Click here in the translate project. Okay, so here we are. Your file again should show up there from last week. So you go to the project, you select your translation file by checking the check mark right here. Okay, so there's the check mark in that box, and click translate project, because once you do that, it's translate project. Okay, which is the third icon on the toolbar. Remember, the third icon on the toolbar for translate the project. This one right here. Okay, so translate project. So now we go to the next screenshot. So once you click that to translate the project, you will be taken to the translation panel, which looks similar right here to this one right here. This is the text from homework 3. That contains your source text and target text columns, which should be filled out completely. So I know half of you submitted it right, half of you didn't. So go back to it, fix it. It needs to show both. It needs to show your source English, and then your target if you selected Spanish or Vietnamese. Okay, so you should have both right there. So again, you should be familiar with this panel since you already completed that sample translation. If it does not look like this for homework 3, you need to go back and fix it before you move on. Okay, so make a pause right here and go back and fix it. So you will also find the side panel right here, this side panel located on the right side, which holds 3 additional panels: the translation memory, the machine translation, and the terms. Okay, so very important, translation memory, machine translation, and terms. At the bottom of the translation panel, you will find buttons for navigation between project pages. You see page 1, page 2, because maybe this is too large of a translation. Page 1, page 2, and you're telling here 500 rows per page. Here's telling you, it's giving you the information, how many segments are in this translation, word total, words translated, how many confirmed segments, etc. Now that you have created your memory and glossary database, you can see that you will have the option to select each database from the drop menu, okay, on the top right hand side of your screen. You see sample glossary, memory sample, okay? So remember, if you don't remember this, go back and look at those dialog windows. Okay, this is from here. Memory sample, because you're going to add a memory. Okay, sample glossary, you're going to add a glossary. So when you get to over here and you already are asking to translate this project, you're going to find this. If you do not see this, you did something wrong and you have to go back. Okay, so they're going to show up right there on the top right hand side of your screen. Now this is where you're going to start working. Now you set up your TM and your TV, so now you're going to start adding your new terms from module 6, from your project, from your new assignment, terms to both databases. Okay, so you're going to go to your week's assignment. Okay, you're going to choose terms that are repeated within this document. You can also choose terms that you think will reappear in future translations or that you have a hard time finding the correct translation. If I wanted to add a term to my glossary, I will go to the icon with the 3 horizontal lines right here and plus sign at the menu bar. If I highlighted the term in the text box, before clicking the Add Terms to Glossary icon, then that term may appear in a dialog box. Okay, I can also highlight the source term and copy and paste it to the corresponding text box and do the same with the target term field. So play with this. Okay, so this is you add, and then it's going to show like this: source term translation, the word translation right here. Okay, and then it's the target word is traducción, and you're going to put at term. So when you do that, okay, this is your working glossary. Nobody will tell you what terms to add to your own glossary. You are the one that you're going to determine. Okay, for example, just a few days ago, I translated La Habra Life, and I keep adding the same and the same terms for the title of the pages. It's a 12-page, 8 to 12-page newspaper that La Habra City puts out, and my client sends to me so I can translate to Spanish. So this would definitely be a situation where I could just click on the term to add terms so that I can add my glossaries and I don't have to go back again and translate it. So then after you do that, keep in mind that you may not see your terms appear in the term side. You see how we pick translation? And now here is traducción. Okay, so now it's in the terms. Right away as Swordfish, so they might not appear right away. You are going to select it, add to glossary, because Swordfish first has to scan your entire terminology database before it displays the terms. So it might take a while. In order to force Swordfish to scan your database while you are in the middle of translating a project, you can go to the Get Glossary Terms option under the task menu in the toolbar. You see this task because you want to expedite the process while you're working. So that way you could be working and this could be done behind while you're doing this. So this is the task, and you're going to put Get Glossary Term option under the task menu. Okay, so that way it puts it in here. It recognizes that you're telling it to add it. Okay, so next, when you are asked whether to get terms for all segments, you will select yes, get terms for all segments. So you say yes because you want it to look through all your segments. Okay, you may also have to close the translation and reopen it to reset your project, and your terminology suggestions should appear. Okay, so add terms to 3 segments. You're going to put okay. You're going to put yes. Okay, you see the word here, translation, needs translation, traducción. Okay. All right, so the next screenshot. If I had just been translated this document and added the terms chocolate and vanilla to my TM, right here, my translation memory, I would see these 2 terms would appear in the term panels as suggested terms when I get to the 7th segment. Okay, so you see my 7th segment. Okay. So chocolate, chocolate, vanilla, vanilla. You see right here, you are adding terms because they appear again. Terms panel as suggested terms. So this is just telling you because it's also going to recognize it said, oh, you know what? This is repeat. This is repeat. So why not put it here and create your glossary? So any terms that you stored in your TM will automatically pop up in the term site right here. Whenever you're in a segment that includes any term you previously added to your glossary. But please pay attention that the terms chocolate and vanilla are never just automatically inserted into my translation. They're suggestions, which means that I have to manually add them if I think they do belong in this particular segment. Okay, because if you click here, it's going to open this. Okay, so you would add them. And you're going to understand it once you do this, and it's going to make more sense than just looking at a screenshot when you're actually working with this. So remember that the CAT tool does not act like a machine translation. You have to, for quality assurances purposes, you are the translator in control of what is being added, what is being omitted, what is being edited during the entire translation process. So now I can now insert the term one of 2 ways, okay? So first I can highlight the term right here. You can highlight the term that goes in that particular part of the segment. And then I could go up to the taskbar right here and then you put insert term, okay? So play with it, you insert the term option or scroll a bit further to insert term option right here. Insert selected term, insert selected term, or insert term. Okay, so I can see that several options because you see here, insert term 6, and it tells you what segment. Pop up by the number of order that particular term appears in the terms panel. Select and insert term 1 would insert the term chocolate in my translation. Selected insert term 2 would insert the term vanilla to my target text. So insert term 1 or insert term 2. This is term 1, this is term 2. So it numbers them to make it easier for you. So it might just look like it's difficult, but once you start playing and once you add your text, it's going to make much more sense. So again, if you do not take care of the space errors, you may find that your final translation, you see here it says space errors. You may find that your final translations will have missing spaces or the period is not placed properly. So these space errors are called initial or trailing spaces, depending on where the problem is in the text. So an initial space errors is found in the beginning of a segment, as you can see here, right? See, right here. So it's telling you that there's a space there, okay? Space error, so you might just need to adjust that. And then a trailing space is found at the end of the segment. And so here they only appear in the source text side. You may also find these errors in the in the source, okay, in the source, or you can also find them in the target. So you want to make sure you clean up these errors in both the source and target in order for your translation memory to work properly. So you just want to make sure that you clean. When this is telling you like this space errors, just make sure that you delete that extra space. So but if you want to add it, it might just tell you that it needs it or it has way too many. So just pay attention, you're the proofer. And we're almost done, just have a few more. So here in this one, this is what I was telling you, that there's translation, there's spaces. So just play with this and fix it.